I'm so excited and honored to be in Seoul. It's my fourth time in Seoul, but it's my first solo show. I never had the chance to create a one exhibition around one topic. So this one is a very important one. The exhibition is pretty much focused on our most recent work called the Large Nature Model. As a studio, last almost 2 years, we are working very hard to create the world's best AI model about nature. I have a huge respect and love for nature. I think it's a fantastic time to bring the show to Seoul. I started working with AI 8 years ago. So like last 8 years, me and my team is always creating artworks with AI. But this exhibition is almost 2 years work. So we started to collect natural data 2 years ago, and it took us 1 year to clean data. We received 500 million images of nature, flora, fauna, fungi, landscapes, and 500 million bird songs. So people will hear beautiful birds of Amazonia. So we received an incredible data, and we worked 1 year to curate data, and then training AI, and then finding the aesthetics. It's a lot of work, a lot of teamwork. Large Nature Model project is truly going beyond comfort zone. So I lived in the Amazonia rainforest for 2 months. So I have a huge respect and love for nature. Me and my partner wife, we traveled across the world. We always look at nature. But for me, living in the rainforest in Amazonia, in Brazil, Acre, was a fascinating experience. And on top of it, of course, our team traveled Australia, Indonesia, Chile, and we are all traveling around the world and collecting data from rainforests, because the rainforests are the most important biomes and we have to protect them. So the exhibition has also showing collecting data. So we are innovating a very unique experience for Seoul. And also the exhibition is heavily focused on AI. The show is literally talking about a generative reality, a new form of art. They're not like a painting, not like a sculpture. They're like a new form of art. We have a special perfume which we invent by 500 million scent molecules, which creates this very special AI, creating this generative reality. So 4 years ago, I started creating AI research on the scent molecules. I always felt that there is something missing in the work. So just seeing, just hearing was not enough. So when we bring the scent layer between us, the works become alive. I coined the term data painting in 2008. And since then, I am always using architecture as a canvas. Beyond just function of an architecture, I see that as also kind of a canvas. And when I think about light as a material, which in my work, I don't use a classical pigment, I don't use a classical materials, I use data, AI, and light together. I see that it's a new form of architecture. In my mind, architecture is beyond concrete, steel, or glass. If we blend AI, data, and light together, there's a possible new form of kind of a material. Last 10 years as a studio, we create many artworks. Frank Gehry's building in Los Angeles, Zaha Hadid DDP here in Seoul, or the Antoni Gaudi's work in Barcelona, Casa Batlló. So I always find ways to create a kind of a new performative imagination. And here in Futura Seoul, we also did a similar thing. So I designed the exhibition in a way that takes the architecture as a canvas. So the people will move through the galleries and transform the walls of the exhibition into canvas. So I love to play with the wall, but beyond the wall, or a ceiling beyond the ceiling, or a gallery beyond the gallery. So we tried in 4 galleries here in Futura Seoul different ways of using architecture as a canvas. The movie I will call Blade Runner. I have it's a huge inspiration for me. The movie I watched, I was 8 years old. That changed my understanding of the future. I grew up in Istanbul, my family's in Istanbul, and I moved to LA 12 years ago. Istanbul, my hometown, is very important. That's where I grew up. And Istanbul is a very important city for me. A city symbolizes how the Asia, Middle East, Anatolia, and Europe all connect. So it's a very special city. I would say that. Show at MoMA received 3 million people and with a 38 minutes average viewing experience. And of course it was very challenging because the data we receive is very important because there's 200,000 artworks in the history of like humanity, all like the pioneer artists. We needed to make an AI that never ever repeats their work. And this AI dreams new work. So it was a very different challenge. So it was about this AI dreaming what is beyond reality. And it was a very big challenge. It was one of the most unique museum show. And that changed my life because having that experience in a museum at MoMA and the art world, it makes our work very clear, very simple and direct that these are art forms. I would say Amazonia as a place. I live in the forest, no computer, no phone, no technology from our side. But there was the nature as technology. So Yamanawa family, my mentors and heroes, they teach me how to live in the forest. So I have a fascinating respect and love for indigenous people living in the forest for thousands of years. So some people say that, you know, Amazonia is the lungs of humanity. Actually, they are not only lungs, but they're also the hearts of humanity because there are people living in the forest that we don't know. So I have a huge respect and love for people living in the forest, protecting the nature for us. When I think about Frank Gehry or Zaha Hadid, I think them as like architects, but also artists. I think they are shaping the buildings in the form of sculpture. I see their buildings as a sculpture that we can listen music, see art, or live inside. So to me, they are like kind of the incredible artists that I inspire the most. And I see their buildings as a statement of sculpture, statement of our time and beyond. Very profound experience for me. I think you will see that nature, culture, urban, and those are the memories that I'm using in my work. They are the memories for everyone, not one person, for everyone. So collective memories of humanity. I think I'm really interested on the idea of finding the language of humanity because I do believe that there's these separations in the world, conflicts, wars. We have so much problems. And I'm trying to find this really happy place, but truly respects each other, where everyone is equally understood. And I think that AI can be helpful for us, because if we have the data around the world, and if we can bring them together respectfully, ethically, maybe it's possible to find the language of humanity. That's why I do believe that art, in my work, there's always art is for anyone, everyone, any age, any culture. And it's a very much inspiring to think that we can detach ego from data and find that language of humanity. So that's one of the common, I will say, context and discourse in my work. AI is a powerful technology. As humanity in the history, we never ever have intelligence as a technology. So that's pretty much an interesting and strong technology. It can be dangerous. It can go wrong, for sure. But what I learned in our 8 years of experience, once we demystify AI, once we explain AI, once people understand how AI works, it changes everything in a good way. Because it's very fundamental as humanity. Once we know something, how it works, we don't have fears. We just understand it. Because the fears, paranoias, hysterias is all coming from things we don't know. So that's my honestly mission to also like explain AI properly to be sure that it's well understood. And then instead of like fears, what else can we do with that? How can we use AI for creativity? How can we use AI for good? So there's so much possibilities, but we have to be careful because AI is a mirror for humanity. It will show exactly who we are. I would absolutely ask if art can become a medicine for human soul. Or one more question, AI decides to have its own culture and that culture creates its own art. Are you accepting AI as a being or not? As a living being? The answer will be, it will make life easier.